Salam everyone. Welcome to the CR Talk podcast, your space and your home for spreading positivity and resilience. Every week we come back and have new guests who speaks about their journey of resilience to inspire and to spread the positivity in the world. And our guest for today is someone special that's going to open up her heart and share some of her journey with us and give us some wisdom about mental health, social work, and about how to keep going in life with resilience and strong heart. So welcome, Latoyia.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course,
I'm
thank
excited
you.
to be here.
Yeah, me too. It has been some time, right?
It has, so wow.
Yeah.
But we finally got a chance to get together, so I'm super excited.
Me too. I always enjoy talking to you.
Yeah. We always have these amazing conversations.
Yes.
And they're supposed to be 10-minute conversations, but they end up being, like
1
an
hour.
hour. So yeah, we really enjoy that.
Yeah, I remember the first time we spoke, it was supposed to be 15 minutes, but we ended up making it 1 hour. And even that wasn't enough, so I'm excited to have you here.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so I usually check in with people
Okay.
before we start, and just want to know how are you today and how is your day?
Well,
How do you feel?
Yeah, so a little nervous, but nevertheless, I'm good. The weather has just been just right, so I've gotten a chance to relax a little bit. It's been an overcast day, so kind of did some running around this morning, but still got a chance to take a nap and just still kind of relax. So that's been good.
That's good. Well, I'm glad that this is how you feel. I feel different feelings, honestly. Okay. Yeah, I feel relaxed because of rain. It just brings a lot of relaxation, and I love connecting with nature.
Yeah.
But also, I had an amazing day today in the morning. I had to go and lead a session with high schoolers.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. What high schoolers? Tell me about it.
They're actually in an internship with the ICM. It's called the Interfaith Children's Movement. Okay. So they have different programs for promoting interfaith dialogues and just creating more tolerant world that accepting differences. And they do that through just bringing people from different faiths and yeah. So today I was supposed to lead a session and speak about the immigration and the immigration injustice, and then how do immigrants navigate their lives in the U.S. And I shared my story, and also it was just good to reflect to see where it started and then where is it today, and also connect with those young people and getting that energy. Right. There is good energy that comes to me when I'm around young people. Yeah. Honestly, they feel fresh and excited, and they're open. So
renewing, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my day was good actually.
So did you do this virtually or was this in person?
No, it was in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got so much going on. I never know how much you do. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And with that, actually, I want us to speak about your work, the work that you do. I know you work with young people also. I just like the work that you're doing and the impact that you're making in life, in people's life, especially people who are coming from different countries and they're finding so much challenges in navigating their educational life in the U.S. So I just want to hear more about that and want to know why you have specifically chosen this profession.
Most definitely. So let's just go back a little. I've been an educator for almost 20 years. And so I'm originally from a place called Greenville, North Carolina. And so I came here probably about in 2014. And so I came here with my son. And so with that being said, Greenville is like a rural place, small town. I'm the oldest. It's just two of us. So we're just like from what you would consider a country. Yeah. And so one of my girlfriends that I went to college with, she moved here, and she was like, "Oh, Atlanta is like the place to be," and we used to call it the Black Mecca, because this is a place where African Americans and just anyone could just come and really make it. I wouldn't say big, but really prosper,
Yeah.
because this is a place where people of color, all colors, are actually thriving. And so it took me a long time. I kind of, one year, I went on like this interview, did amazing at a school right in Atlanta. And so the principal offered me the job, and then I got like super scared. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And so I did it the next year to another place and had the same results. And so I just decided to move here.
Okay.
And so I'm a single mom, so I always had a nurturing family. So my son was able to kind of stay with my mom and dad until I got it, on my feet for about 6 months.
Yeah.
So moved here and started working in Forest Park. And so considered an amazing educator, like from the accolades at home, like in leadership, mentoring teachers, teaching teachers, just everything. Like when I came here, life was so different.
I know.
It's just like the culture was really different. Everyone was to themselves and very competitive.
Yeah.
And being at home, we weren't like that. We were a family. Because remember, I said I come from a rural town.
Yes. Yeah.
And so then moving here, it was just so different.
Yeah.
And it was very hard to navigate.
Absolutely.
And just like coming in the building each morning, like even in my home, everyone says good morning.
Yeah.
But coming in the place where I decided to work, no one said good morning. So I said, good morning. And then everyone would look at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
And the
I know what
kids,
you're talking about.
oh God, they were so behaviorally challenged. And I have this soft voice, and it's always worked. But here in Atlanta, it did not.
Yeah.
And so it took me a long time to get through to my kids here. And it was even at one point, my third graders one day, they were so, I would say, horrible. But I just cried.
Yeah.
And that's the rule that I broke. You're not supposed to cry in front of kids. And so it was just difficult. But as I stayed in that environment, I started to kind of adopt those toxic traits that I was not proud of. And those toxic traits means being like really, really tough on the exterior.
Yeah.
And I guess I would say stoic, but not quite. But being like a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And the kids got in line because it was fear-based.
Yeah.
But it didn't resonate with me for long term because I knew better. And so, well, in that process, I just met so many different types of kids. And I saw, well, they're all the same. Whether from rural, North Carolina, to the, the city, urban. And, I dealt with kids that had a lot of homelessness as well. And so at my particular school, it was like the hub where kids were homeless. They were in our school.
Yeah.
And so just to see how kids were living in homelessness doesn't necessarily mean here that you're without shelter. But it means like you're living in a hotel or you're in a transient, you're in a transient state basically.
Foster care.
Yes, something like that. So a lot of kids were dealing with a whole lot. And just like many different cultures, mostly Hispanic children that I got a chance to work with. And so I got a chance to kind of move around the county and experience different populations of children.
Yeah.
And then at the end of my career, almost 3 years ago, I started working at a charter school. and it was for refugee and immigrant students. Loved it. The kids were amazing. Matter of fact, I came in for summer school, and they were so full of life. And I loved the way that they were really passionate and affectionate with one another. Like for the first time, I saw kids walking hand in hand.
Yeah.
And that was so different from what I was used to.
When you
but I found out that that's a culture thing. You know, two boys holding hands, two girls holding hands. And they were happy. And they didn't have all the materialistic things. And just getting deep into that culture, in that environment, and learning about how these people come from all over the world.
Yeah.
And speak so many different languages. And they were still happy. Yeah. Extremely happy. And so being a part of that community, I got to partake in different events. And I think one thing that always ties us together is food. Like I'm this big foodie. And so everyone was excited to share their culture, excited to share their food. Yeah. And then through food, you get to learn, you know, people's lives. And you get to sit down and just learn about who people are. Absolutely. And so that just made me so passionate and want to know more about where people are coming from and wanting to kind of be more global and visit different places. Some of the kids were from Asia, different places in Thailand, I want to say Burma, different places in Africa, East Africa and Congo. I remember South Sudan. Yeah, Sudan, yes. Somalia, Venezuela, just all over. So we had this whole melting pot. I want to call it melting pot because people still maintain their culture and their identity. But it was like family. And I really enjoyed it. That's beautiful. And the kids just taught me so much about life. They always do. Yeah. So it was just like so fun. And like every international day was just like, you know, you're looking for what people are going to wear. And then they're going to have a performance. And then you're going to learn the culture through music. Yeah. And then you're going to have some amazing food that people are going to take pride in fixing. Yeah. And then the parents are going to come. Even though we may not speak the same language, some parents still haven't learned the language. Yeah. But just customary, just the respect that they show educators. And so I wanted to continue to do this work and to help kids. And that's what brought me to my job today. Okay. So so I'm still helping that same population, still learning, still navigating, and helping people to kind of make that life transition from being in another place and then moving here. Because I had the same story. Yes. Like even though in the U.S., I was there. Absolutely. But I came here, and I'm like, God, what do? I don't fit in. I don't have the same culture. I'm looking at people that look like me, but they're not like me. They're not like me. Yeah. And so that was terrible. It is. Like, you know, I'm fully an adult, but I still want to cry. I still want to go home to mom and dad. Yeah. But I can't because I'm an adult. I gotta make it. And then I have a son to take care of. And just being able to feel that feeling. But what if you're in a place where you can't speak the language? You can't eat your food. Yes. My dad cooks amazing food. And so I'm only 8 hours away. But still, like that emptiness of missing home. Exactly. And missing all of those activities that I did at home. And so I could really relate to that. Yeah. And so I was think that's the thing that kind of brought everyone together. Yeah. Just to be able to understand, okay, these people need help, but they also have so much to offer. Exactly. Not just needing help, but just absolutely. Just as a mutualistic relationship. Yeah. I'm learning about you, you're learning about me, and then at the end of the day, we're all like a family. We are. Yeah. So that's what brought me to this work. Thank you. This is amazing. This is so heart touching. Yeah. And I just love how you were able to navigate all of that together. And I could relate to where you spoke about
not fitting in and feeling that you're like in a totally different country, though you're from US. And
Exactly.
yeah, so I can relate to that because you always feel that um, you don't fit in, no matter, like, especially for me. Okay, given everything, my language, my anything that I dress up, the way I talk, the way I do things, I always have that feeling I will never fit in. And when I came, that was an issue for me. I was really concerned about fitting in and being able to feel welcomed by everyone, which is impossible, of course.
Yeah, most definitely.
So it took a little time for me to understand that I don't have to be accepted by everyone, but I have to be like able to introduce myself wherever I go in a way that suits me, but also in a way that people can relate to, at least to a certain level. And I think the work that I do, working in a nonprofit organization that's helping a diverse population, on that setting, I wouldn't say I felt the same feeling like compared to where I go to some other places.
Okay.
It's because it's more diverse. You meet different people. You meet people who are like you, and then it was a little easier for me than working on other places. But at the same time, I still have that feeling of not fitting in. I still have that feeling of not being welcome to everyone. And as I said, I just for now I feel that I managed to deal with that and accept it, and it's okay because people are coming from different backgrounds. They have their own perspective of life. They have their own perspective of you, you know, and they aren't necessarily right or correct, but this is who they are, and you're gonna change everyone. But the way you're dealing with people, the way you're dealing with yourself, and introducing yourself to the world is what matters actually. So yeah, I was able to connect and understand what you were saying that part.
Yeah, and you and I have talked about this several times. And even being in a new place, I can still feel like that at sometimes too.
Yeah.
But I have to be intentional about reminding myself, I'm not supposed to fit in.
Yes.
Like, of course, I want to be validated on the outside. Everyone does, because everyone wants to belong.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, maybe I'm not supposed to fit in. And maybe that's okay.
Yes.
And so when I remind myself, when I come up into my consciousness and hey, okay, Latoyia, it's okay. Then I'm okay. I just think that you have to have some kind of something on the inside. You have to. I'm always talking to myself.
Yes.
Because I always come into these situations that are very difficult, and then I have to kind of step outside myself as well and say, well, I forget these people. They are who they are, and nevertheless, I'm going to thrive regardless. And then pretty soon, people start to come around me and everything else. So I just feel like that what you say to yourself and what you intentionally kind of say, and it starts to manifest. And that starts to take place on the outside. Because I've learned that words are just energy.
Yeah.
And you can bring it to you or you can push it away.
Exactly.
Now I have to start working on the subconscious. How can I change that?
Yeah.
Because thoughts are really powerful as well.
Yeah.
So managing those thoughts to keep, that thing going, to keep those good vibes and to bring that goodness into my life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think energy, like the way you think about yourself, the way the inner thoughts, the inner conversations that you have with yourself are in so many ways reflected in the way people deal with you, but also the way you're calling things. And I'm glad that you're on that journey, and it's a lifetime journey. It's never going to be like I'm here, I mastered it.
Yeah.
We're in an ongoing process of developing the way we talk to ourselves and the way we approach the life, and it's a journey of progress. And we develop different techniques, different ways in how we handle ourselves, but also how we handle the world outside. So, what are the parts that you think you have grown um, in, like with handling people from different backgrounds and specifically working with people who are coming from different cultures?
One thing that I think that I've done is just to have good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, I mean just to throw it out into the atmosphere. Like as a manager,
Mm-hmm.
I manage like people from different backgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone has their own view of what leadership looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I can have this group over here that thinks, oh, she's doing so wonderful. And then I can have this group over here, oh, she's not doing that great. Because it just depends on your culture and where you're from and your belief system.
Yeah.
And so just trying to have that to set that intention and to have that understanding that everyone sees differently, and just to kind of sometimes put myself in uncomfortable situations because I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
And so I have to sometimes stick my neck out there. And so sometimes, like at the beginning of the day, I'll prepare myself. Well, I'm going to have a 10-minute conversation with this person.
Beautiful.
And so I just got to kind of do it, and it'll be difficult. And it might not last 10 minutes, but I'll work my way up to that 10 minutes and just make it habitual. Because you have to try things over and over and over and over again.
That's true.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
I think I went on a tangent, but
Yeah, you answered my question, and I just like the deep answers you're giving actually, and this has been the norm when I talk to you.
Yeah, we
I
always
always
have
get a
these
deeper.
conversations.
Yes. So yeah, and I want to jump back to the energy and your ability to connect with people spiritually. Because I see that in you, and actually remember the last time we met.
Yes.
Where I wasn't feeling
We
very
have
good,
a moment.
yeah, and I was really doing my best to be okay. And nobody noticed except you that I wasn't okay. I wasn't having a good day.
Yeah.
So how do you get that? Like, what makes you have that deep level of connection? And is it something that you have with everyone, or it just happens with certain people?
Being introverted and being empathetic, I think that's my gift. Sometimes I think it's a curse.
It is a gift.
Yeah, it is a gift.
Yeah.
So I really watch people and I feel immensely.
Yeah.
And when I say it's a curse, like sometimes I can feel so bad.
Yeah.
I can really feel what you're feeling, and it can really affect me. And so then I have to kind of establish boundaries.
Yeah.
How do I not let that energy overtake me? Because that's my gift. I can look at people, and I can really feel deeply, and like I can always. I think I'm adaptable. Put myself in someone's shoes, and so I think that's the gift that the Creator has given me.
Yeah.
So I know, and then I watch people. People are so interesting to me, and so that's the thing about being quiet. That you can sit back and you can just say, "Oh, I wonder how that person did that." Okay, and I've been doing that for years.
Right.
Because I told you I was the oldest child, and so my mom was super, super protective of us, and so we didn't go and be outside and how everyone had freedom, So I kind of learned from her. I was like an old child. I was like a little child, but we had these conversations. I had these conversations with Mom that kind of grew me up before my time.
Mhm.
And so when I came into the world and tried to be around kids,
So
they were like,
difficult.
yeah, I couldn't connect because I've been around adults like
Mm-hmm.
all my life. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I can feel it immensely, and
Mm-hmm.
so I think, like I said, that's the gift that the Creator has given me.
It is.
Yeah,
Absolutely, it's a gift.
yeah. So I
Mm-hmm.
can tell when someone's, their posture and how they're walking and look in their eyes and
Mm-hmm.
see what's going on
Yeah.
because I can feel it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that's too much to handle. On
it's
the
a lot
other
to
hand,
handle.
yeah, yeah, it's a gift, as you said, and I don't agree with you that it's a curse because it's I see the good sides more than
Yeah,
that. But at the end of the day, it's affecting you, and I'm glad that you're aware about that and you're trying to make those boundaries. So how do you make the boundaries, and how do you get that shield to
I haven't
protect your
perfected
energy?
that yet.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't perfected that yet,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm always talking to myself because I have to be careful who I'm friends with
Yeah,
because their energy will jump onto me,
yeah.
and I haven't perfected it yet. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in that space. But some things that I do is just to simply to have a conversation with myself
Mm-hmm.
and try to bring up that person's energy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm still there. I
Yeah.
wish healing was like this linear thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it never is. So I have to figure it out, and
Mm-hmm.
I have to
Mm-hmm.
kind of call it into me, and something like pop up on my YouTube about how to protect your energy.
Yes.
So yeah, or
Yeah.
even like seek out therapy. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
so much happens within a day, within a year, um, that it affects me deeply.
It does.
Yeah. So especially what people say, especially if I'm talking to someone and they have this like really negative perspective, and that
Yeah.
affects me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to, kind of step back
Mm-hmm.
and try to
Mm-hmm.
figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and not take it personally.
Mm-hmm.
But as one of my old friends used to say, "Well, you're super sensitive." It's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
am, and that's
But
okay.
I don't
Yeah.
think that's bad. I
It's
think
not.
that's what I'm supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be. But how do I check it
Exactly.
so that it's not my curse?
Mm-hmm.
How do I make sure that it's balanced?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something that I need to find more out
Mm-hmm.
about
Mm-hmm.
so I can still live this whole and healthy life
Yeah.
and not go to and fro because
Mm-hmm.
we run into so many energies within a day. And I
Especially
still
today.
have to be grounded. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but exercise helps sometimes too. I find
Mm-hmm.
myself at the office going out and getting some sun and
Mm-hmm.
just kind of walking around the parking lot,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of, they said movement can
Mm-hmm.
help bring your vibration up
Absolutely.
again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I'm in the middle of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually asked you this question because I see myself in that place as well. I am
Mm-hmm.
very sensitive on like if there is any sort of energy around me, if it's good or bad,
Mm-hmm.
it gets into me, and that impacts the way I deal with people, the way I do things,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not always the greatest thing to happen to you,
Yeah.
especially if you have a lot to do
Mm-hmm.
because. If you didn't master your like the way you're handling that, it's going to distract you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to distract your thoughts and the the performance, the way you're dealing with things during the day. So I asked that because I really needed an answer. Because as I said, it's just a process, and as I said, it's like you always find yourself trying to develop new techniques and tools and ways in dealing with that. One of the things I do, I try just to have like 5 minutes break from anything,
Okay.
do deep breathing, exercising, and just try to have fresh air, as you
Mm-hmm.
said. That also helps. But it's a journey, and
You know what? Something else I noticed that you do in the office. You always have on headphones. And I call your name and you don't hear me.
Really?
So I was like, okay, that's her way of dealing with everything.
Yes.
Because you'll be at your desk and everybody's talking, everybody's doing this, but you'll still have on your headphones. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. That's her way of keeping the world out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's a good thing sometimes as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it has been helping me, and actually developed this since I was back home. I used to work with the UN, and also we had this very big office. It's like a big hall and so many tables, like the cubicles we have here, and so there are so many people, and everyone is talking, you know, and I need to focus to do the work. Okay. So I just put my headphones, and it worked because I just need to make use of the work and make use of the time and get things done. And you cannot change the way things are set up, the work. So this is the only way. And some people get offended. They feel like you're just
push them out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pushing not the people, but I'm pushing an energy. I'm pushing a noise. I want to focus. So at the end of the day, yes, maybe it's just a good way of saying I'm busy now. So just let me be. But some people just take it personal, and I found myself I needed to explain that it's not personal. It's not about you. I'm just trying to focus. I need to get things done. I have a baby back home. I need to go back and take care of her. So I need to get the work done. So yeah, I think that's one of the ways. Okay. And during that, I would be actually either listening to some like motivational speeches, listening to a podcast, or just the music, the Sudanese music. I love it, of course. So it just helped me to come back and stay focused.
So you said Sudanese music.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Music is really helps me. Just period. I'm a music lover of all types of music. I can't tell you the names of everything. But once again, I'm that feeler, so it's how things feel and how things, kind of calms you down.
Exactly.
So I love good music. But yeah. So protecting my energy, I got to find out a way to do that. Not just protect my energy, but protect me from others.
Exactly.
Because I need to have I just need to be protected. And so that's something that I'm going to seriously pursue.
Yeah.
How do I make sure that I keep myself okay? Because, like I said, life changes so much, and energies change
dramatically.
Yeah. Just even last week, I reconnected with one of my friends. Yeah. And they're so intense, and I came home crying.
Oh my God.
And I don't think they meant anything by it.
Yeah.
And I can't even articulate like they want. Like, why you don't know this? Because I don't know.
Exactly.
Like sometimes I can't always explain everything, but I can feel everything. And so I haven't reconnected with that person because that energy was just so intense that I was down for about 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
So
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, sometimes you think you kind of dealt with things and then it comes back around again. So I guess that's the beauty of the journey, right?
Exactly. And we get to do that, like to find a shield, because as you said, today's world is crazy, and the negativity is spreading faster, and it's too much out there. So, and everyone is impacted. As you said, maybe that friend didn't mean to make you feel that way, of course, but they did because of what they're carrying, and maybe also they're carrying it from somewhere else, and they're not even aware about that. So dealing with this actually requires a lot of self-awareness that you have, and I like that you have it. And I think one of the ways that you can also like manage your energy or just protect it is the way you start your day, for example.
Okay.
Like, do you start your day just rush to work, or do you take some time for yourself, for just reflecting, exercising, praying, meditating? That impacts. Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go
Continue,
ahead.
continue.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that impacts how the day goes because I am very passionate about like workout and exercise and meditation and yoga. It has been my thing for a while.
Okay.
Now I'm on and off, and I'm not trying to make an excuse, but after you become a mom, it's really complicated to keep up with everything you have been doing in your life. But I'm trying, to get back there. So I know how I feel and how my day goes when I start with exercising or meditation or keep doing my yoga every day or just reading Quran. Um, that helps me a lot with my day, and even if anything bad happens, it doesn't impact me the same way if I get to start my day rushing and running to work or running to start something. So I don't know if
Yeah, I think that's true. Probably about 2 years ago, I was really passionate about writing in my journal, and I keep journals for years.
Beautiful.
And so one thing that I would begin my journal writing with was gratitude. There has to be 5 things that I'm grateful for. It wasn't because I live in a house. It was just like anything. I'm grateful that I found my earring today. just to be really
the simple things.
Just to kind of pay attention to there's just the simplicity of life.
Exactly.
Like I'm thankful for my water is cold right now. I have cold water to drink.
Yes.
Or somebody smiled at me today.
Exactly.
Just to put me in that mindset of being grateful and to open up that positivity in me because it's setting your day, like you said.
It does.
And then I also used to go outside barefoot, cold ground, and just to kind of feel, the earth and just, inhale the air because in the morning it's just like so beautiful.
It is.
And so now I don't do that. I'm like rushing to work.
Yes.
And now I'm thinking about, okay, I got to answer this email. I have to do get my paperwork to send in my invoices and all this other stuff. So, but I know what to do though.
Yeah.
But I don't do it
exactly.
now. And so now that you and I have talked about it, tomorrow I'm gonna start doing it again.
Okay.
And I buy journals too. I have like 2 new journals that I haven't written in yet. And because I like how pretty they can be.
Yes.
So I'll go to Ross and buy one for like $3.99.
Yeah.
But that's why I said talking is important.
It is.
And just like remembering what you've done. Because sometimes you get away from what's good. And you have to have someone to remind you.
Yes.
Like a like-minded person. And so I know what to do. I just got to do it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like I know what to do, but I have not been doing it. I will be honest. And that's why I say healing is not a linear thing. It's like you come back and you have to be reminded. Yes. And then you got to do something all over again. And then you say, okay, I can make it.
Exactly. Yeah. I totally agree with you.
See, this is good. Yeah.
It is. It is. And especially when you talk to like-minded people, you have those kind of conversations from time to time. It helps, and having someone to keep you accountable.
Exactly.
So I'll be asking you.
Yeah.
And can I meet you for the office? Have you done this gratitude?
Yeah, you make sure you ask me that. Tomorrow I have to pick up some kids to take them to camp.
Okay.
So we're going to be in the car together for about 3 hours.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You'll need to do that before you go. Yeah. And speaking of gratitude, I know that it's very important, and it really makes your day different. And it's one of the things that like Islam has spoke about a lot, and just being grateful for everything, the smallest things that you have, you just you feel the difference, and you feel that life is being better with you. And for that I have like a gratitude. It's just words that are in the wall. I put them by my dining table, because I don't always remember to do that. But you every day sit in your dining table, is it in the morning or after you come back from work, you get some time to sit there. So it reminds me, catch my eyes to see, and it's just about having your everyday life together, having your house, having electricity, having internet, having water, having friends, having, as I said, someone to smile at your face, and someone who you can go back to them when you feel down. All those are small things that we take them for granted, but they're essential for our lives. And if we don't have one of them, we're going to be in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So
a gratitude wall. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah.
And it helped me just to remember, no matter how the day is crazy, how bad things are happening, and especially now, because and this is something I usually do it at the beginning of the podcast. I speak about what's happening in Sudan.
Okay.
But talking to you always takes me away.
We always get off course and then come back again.
Yeah. So in Sudan, there is a war that has been going on for a year now, and I don't know if you heard about it, but I know there is no so much word is spread about it. People are dying, people were displaced, and there is no safety, no security. There is a possibility of famine, and where some people have had to leave the country to the neighboring countries, where either they're not welcomed, or there are so many policies that are really making their life even more complicated, or the country is going through war by itself. So they're in and out. Sudanese people in and out are really going through very difficult and one of the toughest time in our history. And of course, I have a family there, I have my friends, and it's just my country where I belong and where I was raised. So it's really hard. I'm thinking of them, thinking of people in Gaza, in Ukraine, in Congo and Uganda, in all those countries where like war is happening and people aren't really getting the support they need, and the world isn't really paying attention, and the world is being intentionally, ignoring certain.
Yeah.
So that's really frustrating, and like thinking about it always brings my energy down and makes me feel helpless, especially that I wasn't there when the war happened, so that's giving me that what they call the survivor guilt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I always feel guilty that my people are there and they're going through all that, and I'm here safe, um, and I feel just helpless. And no matter what are the things that I do in the level that I'm able to help, I do whatever I can to help the people I know. But it's too much people, it's too much problems, and the resources are so limited. And as I said, there is an intentional ignorance of that situation. So that always brings me down and just makes me feel like, what am I doing? I feel selfish sometimes when I think about my life. But then I also, going back to the gratitude wall, I guess I feel grateful that I'm safe and my daughter is safe, my mom is safe, and my family. Some of them are in Sudan, some of them are outside, but they're still safe. And I pray that they stay safe and just the country goes back to where it was, and people get the safety that they deserve, because no one deserves to be living in this devastating situation. And the politics and the politicians who are the reason for that, actually they're enjoying their lives and they're not impacted. Their families are in the safest places in the world. Right. They're not there. They take their families from the war zone, but the people are the ones who are paying that price. So I hope that ends soon.
Yeah, well, I think this platform can be a way to get that information out there. Yeah. And that we're so powerful. And so I think if we have all of us coming together with the same intent of making things change, yes, just the power of prayer alone can change some things. Yeah. And also maybe, I don't know, monetary donations. I'm not sure how that would work. But you being that advocate, I think that's a way to help
Yeah.
push things and to be a catalyst for change.
Yeah.
We can't always make abrupt changes right away, but to be that person that can help mobilize change
Exactly.
is important. And so I would continue to speak out.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed just by being in our agency, how we can get so much money for certain groups of people.
Exactly.
And then other groups of people,
yes.
Hey.
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
we only let a small majority of a certain population in, but then we can be so generous to
exactly.
other groups. And so even myself, I was talking to one of my former coworkers about this. That's amazing. Like when it comes to, I'm learning about, going and talking to other people, networking in the job. Even with the employment, we send certain groups of people here and then a certain group of people here.
Wow.
I'm like, isn't that kind of like
yes, it
segregation
is.
or something?
Yes.
I don't know if that's the word. I should say discrimination. So don't feel guilty. Continue to speak out like you're doing now.
Yeah.
And I think people, your people, will continue to connect worldwide, no matter where you all are.
Yes.
And be the voices that people need to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that for me. I'm grateful to hear that your story.
Yeah.
I think stories are important.
They are. They are. I always say that stories are very powerful and they change lives. They change the world. And yeah, it was intentional actually of speaking about that, like starting the podcast with speaking about Sudan because I felt like this can help spread the word more about what's happening because nobody's really talking. So yeah, and yeah, that's very true. There is so much selectivity in how things are being done, and I know there is so much politics around that. So much about how the world is formed and how things are designed, and systematically. And yeah, as I said, we just keep talking, we keep advocating, and advocacy takes things to a further place.
I would say so. Yeah. And then are you connected with other people like online and everything else from your country? Like, yeah. You're gonna have to let me know more about that.
I will.
I want to know. Yeah.
Yeah, I am actually, and there are some people who are still there, but they're still helping.
Okay.
And those people are amazing. I don't even know what to say about them, but that's the highest level of of giving, highest level of just being generous to people and dedicating your life because you must say, but you're still helping and you're still trying to make the world a better place. They're amazing.
I think I just found my next avenue of work.
right?
Yeah.
Now tell me a little about that.
No, I'm just interested in, travel is on my list. I have to go so many places because I have so much to learn.
Yes.
But I'm just interested in, I don't want to say seeing war-torn places, but being a help to these people that are in situations like these. Yeah, just kind of seeing, how life is on the front line. When I talked to some of my children at the school that I was in, they said they were from this certain place, but they only lived in a certain place in a camp.
Yeah.
So they don't really know the benefits of their country.
Exactly.
Just like there was a former soccer teacher. Like he stayed 13 years in a camp.
Wow.
Like, isn't that just like amazing?
There are people who stayed more than that.
Yeah, like how do you stay in a camp for so long?
Yeah. Actually, now in Darfur is in the western side of Sudan. The war started there actually way before what's happening now in the whole country. It started in 2003. There were some kids who were born there and they're still in the camp. And they don't know anything else other than that.
Exactly.
That life.
Like my kids were born in camps, so I'm like, oh, you're from this amazing place. But you never get to know that amazing place, just
Mm-hmm.
only life inside.
Exactly.
And I had the opportunity when I was there to visit a military base. I think it was for Syrians.
Mm-hmm.
And that was their like camp.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so depressing.
Yes.
And they couldn't go out the base.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like your food, Americans are cooking your food, like everything. How do you become self-sufficient
Mm-hmm.
if you're only allowed to be in this little neighborhood?
Exactly.
You can't go outside the
Mm-hmm.
walls.
Mm-hmm.
That's prison in itself.
And that takes so much time,
Mm-hmm.
and usually shouldn't take that time because there are so many organizations that are getting funds from different places to help. You know, the resources are there, but I'm still questioning this. Why people have to stay over year, like 3, 4, 5 years, or 10,
They
20
didn't
years
stay that long.
in a refugee camp?
Yeah.
Why? And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they were on a military base. They didn't stay very long. I would say maybe up to 2 years.
Okay.
But that's not, well, that is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But then they were resettled to different
That's
locations.
good. Mm-hmm.
But people have been, like other groups of people have been places for years at a time.
Yeah. I know people who have been in camps for, as I said, like over 10, 15, 20 years. And it varies from country to country, though, like which country you have fled to when the crisis happened in your country. So in some countries, people are there for over 20 years. Just recently, I met people at our agency who were in Chad, a neighboring country with Sudan, where they fled the genocide from Darfur, and they have been there since 2003. They just were resettled this year.
Wow,
so that's
amazing.
Yeah, that's 21 years. Those people were kids.
Yeah.
They were so young, and actually their little sister was born in the camp. So I think they were 3 siblings, 2 brothers and 1 sister. So the 3 of them, they were just like they knew nothing other than that life.
Yeah.
And then they have to come here, start a life again, and learn the language because there weren't resources at the camp for them to study language and come here ready and knowing how to start. So they needed to learn the language. They needed to be able to find themselves a place in the new community. And I'm actually grateful that there are agencies like the agency we work with that helps people with their pathway in the US and other countries. But the journey is really complicated and difficult, and you coming from another place to a new place, it takes a lot of, it takes a lot from your life and from your energy, your everything, and you have to just be there in this new country and try to melt in or fit in and learn fast. And it's a very fast-paced country. You have everything is fast. So I think that's one of the challenges that newcomers go through because of you having to change everything about the life that you used to be in. That wasn't the perfect one, but that's all what you knew.
Right.
So now you have to develop new techniques, new tools, and it just takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I would imagine. Think about the trauma associated with that.
Exactly.
Leaving the known to go to the unknown. Like, just going into work and not knowing what's happening.
Exactly.
But think about your whole life has to shift. So
exactly.
That's just I think people that go through that are incredibly strong if they make it out.
Yeah.
And you would have to be extremely resilient. Those have to be some of the really smart, intelligent people. Because I'm thinking, how do I learn a new language at this age?
Yes, ma'am.
And be fluent in that language and even learn how to read that language. Think about how much that takes.
Exactly. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
It really takes a lot. And the feeling of being in a new place, as we spoke earlier, and that you don't fit in. You need to find your way, and you don't have that awareness of you still in your process to understand that you don't have to fit in. You're expected to be delivering. You're expected to be giving and working and producing and doing all of that while navigating all those things inside you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I say one of the things that our like all the nonprofit agencies that are helping refugees, they need to have more mental health resources to help people to navigate their emotions, their just to stay mentally healthy and okay, and to be able to process those feelings and get help when they need that, and actually find a way to introduce that because that's also an issue in our communities. Mental health is not something that you can just speak about openly and being accepted. And if you want to help people in that level, you need to maybe use a different language and use things in a way that doesn't make them feel stigmatized or um, that something's wrong with them. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can even think like in the African American community, like no one is going to say, well, I need therapy. Especially like a man. But no one's going to say that. But you need therapy. And so just normalizing that because people get all of this trauma out of their body, but how do you get it out? And sometimes you get it out in negative ways. Alcoholism, drugism, sexism, all of those isms.
Yes.
And so I think that's super important. But how do you sell it in a way that it won't be so taken so negatively?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I think that's the challenge that we have to overcome. But and then some people can do it spiritually, but others aren't at that place to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And just to teach, how can I be at a better place when the world is crumbling down, basically. So yeah.
That's true.
Oh my God! So I got two other avenues to travel. Conversations are important.
They are, right?
Yeah. Because people need it. We need that. Just day-to-day living. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I love about this world of podcasting. Because I see this as a revolution, basically, and because it's an open space. So there are no so many restrictions around that, and you can just always have people and come and speak, and it's always, I just feel it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
In so many ways for me as a listener, when I was when I listen to podcasts from other people, I feel like it just helps me navigate so many things within myself. And of course, here when I every day have someone new and speak about different things, it feels amazing for me. So yeah, it's something that we should keep going and we should keep it happening, right?
So is that your form of healing as well when you have these conversations with people?
Yes, I enjoy having deep conversations with people, and it helps me just to connect with myself and connect with people in like different levels. So, and I think this is one of the things that pushed me to do the podcast because it's always whoever come and sit here, they're they're open and they bring their authentic self, and it's just amazing that like you can have those conversations going on for hours and nobody feels bored or feels insecure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really therapeutic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. This has been good.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes,
You're welcome. Yeah, so I know you mentioned a little bit earlier about your childhood and where you come from North Carolina, right? So you want to share a little bit about your childhood and how did that form and shape the person you are today?
Yes. Like I said, I'm the oldest and come from a wonderful mom and dad. Beautiful people. My mom and I are very similar, but I'm also like the black sheep too. Quiet but very independent as well. So
Yes.
always been an independent thinker, and so that's not always popular.
Yes. Yes.
Especially if you have like old school parents like I had, especially like my mom. But yeah, so like I said, very protective, um, beautiful woman, and just wanted the best, but still navigating her own issues in life.
Yes.
And then I'm a child and I'm only around her. So
Yes.
then I adopt some of these things as naturally life happens. And yeah, so still learning to how to get along but still be my authentic self.
Exactly.
Because I like being on my own path.
Yeah.
I don't like being like everybody else. I'm too far out there right now. They come back in.
Yeah.
So helping her to see that and still love that. I guess she would call it rebellious spirit.
Yes.
I don't think it's rebellious. I just think it's just some people are called to be who they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to be rebellious.
Yeah.
You know, in a good way.
Yeah. Sometimes it's okay.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're a parent, sometimes you don't think so.
Yeah.
But I always encourage my son to be his authentic self. And sometimes when he's that authentic self, that bothers me. It's like a catch.
That's interesting.
If you're not doing what I say, do. But yeah, and so that's probably how my mom feels sometimes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you want to be your authentic self, and you're trying to make your mom understanding that. But then when you're a mom or when you're a parent, it's hard for you to accept that all the time.
Exactly.
But I'm sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think that's just where we are at the moment.
Okay, it's a process. You know?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And absolutely, I think you're learning from your son as well, right? And do you think you're reflecting from your experience with your mom and trying to apply that?
Yeah.
Things that you have learned. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. Please continue.
No, you're good. Yeah, I just said I wanted to say the things that you have learned from your experience with your mom. Do you think you're trying to apply some of those lessons with your son?
I would say yes. But you know, when I always said, well, I'm not gonna be like my mom. Not that she was so terrible, but she was super, super strict.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was sometimes stifling.
Yeah.
Because you have to experience the world.
Yeah.
But I understand her wanting to protect me from this crazy world. Because this is an absolute crazy world. So I always wanted my son to be more of an explorer, like myself, and to kind of have safe parameters, but still be able to function in the world.
Exactly.
Because I felt like I was so isolated that I didn't really know how to function. And I had to learn that.
Yeah.
And so I would say I'm different in that respect. But my son still says I'm controlling. And that's what I say about my mommy. But I think that just comes from wanting to be like a good parent.
Exactly.
So some things you do that you say you won't do, but because nevertheless, you live what you say.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, and I think parents, no matter what they do, they always mean the best. And even if we don't agree with them, this is the best they know. This is all what they know by then or even by now. So they're also in their own journey of navigating themselves, navigating the world, and that, of course, impacts the first people are impacted with that are your kids.
Exactly, especially the oldest one.
Yes.
So if I don't know if you happen to have looked at like the difference between how children are born, like the first, the middle, the such and such. The first takes everything. They're like the little super adult. And
Yes.
so everything comes on me.
Mm-hmm.
And but the youngest one, my little sister, she was just in heaven. Like she didn't have anything to worry about. But
Mm-hmm.
we're like a sounding board. And then you got to think also, parents are normally younger.
Yes.
And they're just figuring it out.
Exactly.
And so by the time they get to the younger one,
Mm-hmm.
they figured some things out.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to be so tough and
Yes.
rough.
Yeah. But also sometimes they say they get tired.
Yeah. So you heard that too in your culture, yeah. So yeah, they don't want to give as many we used to call it whoopings and
Yeah.
beatings and all. I wouldn't say beatings, but spankings
Mm-hmm.
and all that other stuff. They'll just start talking to you instead of being so so strict. I would
Yes,
say,
exactly. And yeah, in my culture, sometimes they say those parents are tired, and the last one actually they aren't raised up. They let them go and raise themselves out there by themselves,
Yeah.
figure out their way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are so many many things that are impacting the oldest one,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe the second old because I'm the second, but I can relate to so many things from what you said. Yeah, and being parent yourself, you can see that also in yourself when you're new mom. Everything is new. You're trying to understand the world. You're trying to figure out how to deal with this new human being, which is 100% dependent on you, and you don't know if you're doing everything right. Exactly. So yeah, it's
you're going through that now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How old is your little one?
She's 19 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I hope to live until I say she's 19 years old now. I want to see how does that feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does that feel actually when they grow, like compared from when they're young until they're?
It's amazing. My son just turned 21 a couple of weeks ago. So it's just amazing to see. But I feel like I'm such a better parent now versus than before. Because he's told me some things that I messed up on. Yeah, he's very vocal. And we've gotten to a place that we can talk.
That's beautiful.
So I feel now that I'm more empathetic, I'm more caring, and I know how to have conversations with them instead of just telling them what to do. And so now I say, I love you more than ever. Beautiful. And he's 21 years old. And now I hug more than ever.
That's beautiful.
But he needs it.
Yes.
Because when he was growing up, I was that person. Well, little boys don't do that. Like you have to be that tough person. That's not how I do. Yes. Children aren't supposed to be treated like that. Exactly. But I was being strict because that's the only thing I knew how to do. But now I've evolved. Like, I've grown up. I've matured. I know who I am now. And so how you treat people and talk to kids never leaves them. Yes. So you have to be careful what you say. Exactly. Especially to a young man that's trying to find himself. Absolutely. To anyone. So, it's more affection and it's more, hey, you're doing a good job. I see what you're doing. Exactly. And I love you. And if you're messing up, because he was messing up, he was getting tickets left and right. Hey, let's talk about this. Your mom's going to have a difficult time paying this ticket. Yeah. What do you think is happening? Instead of hollering at him. Exactly. And so that's just been really good for us. And it's encouraging him to do better because he wants that. He still wants that validation from me. But also, it's empowering as well when someone talks to you with care and love. So, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so that's a part of my mental health journey also. Yeah. Learning how to talk to not only myself but to others. Yeah, to empower them instead of always putting people down. Exactly. And I think being engaging and trying to have the conversation and this level that you're saying now is important, and especially with our kids as they grow up, as you said, they just need more of that, and they need to feel that they're heard and they're understood and they matter and all that. Telling them we love you more than
work and all
Right.
that. Yeah.
And, you know, you really don't like. Life gets hard when you're around 17 to 21 years old.
Yeah.
It's difficult
Yes.
because you're trying to figure out who you are in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like life is easier when you're a kid.
Yes, ma'am.
But when you're trying to figure out who you are
Yeah.
and how you can still be you, figuring out how to make it financially and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then think about now with inflation the way it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's when you need the most help.
Exactly.
Yeah, like mental help,
Mm-hmm.
I can say.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to come against what the world says, especially in the music now
Mm-hmm.
and the styles now. Everything that young kids like
Yeah.
is wrong.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
And so they're just bombarded with all of these messages
Mm-hmm.
now. And so being a young person, I can imagine it's difficult.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And there is a big impact of this open media thing that
Mm-hmm.
everyone has access. Everyone can put anything there,
Mm-hmm.
and there is no filter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And so we didn't have that growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have all of that.
Yeah.
Could see everything and had access to a phone. And,
Exactly.
you know, so
Yeah. It's really scary when I
yeah,
think about it, and I don't know what's coming up with the AI now. The AI is going to be more crazy.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even calling to get my internet was messed up last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was so hard to get somebody on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk to a robot. I want to talk to a
To a
person.
person, right?
Like I want to talk to a person, and it's hard to get a real life person.
Yeah.
So these are just all the issues that we have to
Mm-hmm.
face.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, it's affecting your mental health,
Absolutely.
whether you know it or not.
It does. It does. And it does from like when you wake up until you sleep, you have to deal with all of that. And you have to be mindful that this is impacting you and figure out ways to clean it up.
Right.
Yeah. So, what is your advice actually for young people right now who are in this era of AI and open internet and no filter?
Ooh, this is some hard advice.
Mm-hmm.
I would put down that phone if possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go outside and just enjoy nature.
Mm-hmm.
But young people aren't going to see that.
There's
I know it's not good advice for a young person. It is good advice, but
they don't.
just
They
the
don't.
idea of
Yeah.
disconnecting from that phone. Maybe put yourself on a diet for about 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Just put it down for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have this thing where I used to fast from my phone.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be my fast. At
That's
8 o'clock, it would have to go off,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't turn it on again until 8 o'clock the next morning.
That's amazing.
Because I'm too much in it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that just takes away my time.
It takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I would say to a young person, if you can put that phone down for a couple of minutes
Mm-hmm.
and just engage
Right.
with real life people,
Mm-hmm.
not the fake friends that you have online, but
Yeah.
just go and talk to someone
Mm-hmm.
and be present.
Mm-hmm.
Being present is important.
Yeah.
Because if you look now, everyone in the family is sitting on the phone, but nobody's talking.
Exactly.
If you go out to eat, you'll notice everyone is on the phone.
Exactly.
No one is talking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like these people gotta be they're gonna be lacking social skills and everything else because we're
They are.
all
Mm-hmm.
on a phone.
Mm-hmm.
So my advice once again would be to disconnect from the technology
Mm-hmm.
for about 30 minutes a day
Yeah.
and just engage in interacting with a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good advice.
yeah.
And
I think you could start there.
yeah.
Just to be able to see what's around you and what matters
Mm-hmm.
instead of
Yeah.
having your mind overloaded with all of this information.
Too
Because
much
if you look at the phone constantly, you get tired.
Yes.
Your mind starts to get really tired.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you're bombarded with so much stuff.
Exactly.
Constantly bombarded. And that's a mental drain on
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's mental and physical drain because I remember I read something about a young gentleman that has died where they were playing a game, and he has been playing for like many days. They just
Oh,
take a break
hours
to
and
go,
hours. Yeah.
take just a restroom or just do basic
Mm-hmm.
thing and come back. They forgot to sleep
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't eat well, so they passed away because of
Oh,
that.
wow.
And that's
Yeah.
it's just scary.
Yeah,
It
I can see
scares
that
me when I
happening.
hear those stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, when you go in grocery stores or any kind of stores, you'll see a baby with like a phone,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just like,
Yeah.
and I was like, if I had a baby in
That
this day and
wouldn't.
time, they wouldn't have a device.
Yes.
But
Yes.
would I be my mom again, like super strict and all this other stuff because everything was not always right.
Yeah. But the technology is really like, especially for kids. Firstly, it damages some parts of their brains and it affects their development. So at that age, I think it's good to dictate that.
Exactly.
Exactly. And they can watch. They of course they can have their shows that they can watch for like few minutes or at least 1 hour a day, and that's it. But to be that constant on a phone for a child that's like
It's
1 year to 5 years, it's not healthy at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to do that now. I know I want to see how it goes. So the kids in this age, in this computer and internet age, they're born loving the phones.
Exactly. Yeah.
I remember my daughter would be crying when she was born. When we came back from the hospital, she's like 1 month. But when she sees the phone, she's crying. When she sees the phone and the screen, she stops crying.
Oh,
and she wants to see what is that. I'm like, what are you doing?
Already.
Yeah. So we just need to be very careful about that because I know it's really damages kids' brains, and we know that we need more present kids and kids that
Exactly.
are social and they know how to express themselves and think about the world around them, the actual world.
Yeah, just be a kid.
Yes.
Just like to run and play.
Yeah.
And then we're producing so many obese kids now because they're watching TV. I only watch TV on Sundays.
Yes.
So like, because I don't have time.
Yeah.
Just think about kids just sitting there 24/7 watching TV.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
too much.
not good. Yeah, not good at all.
Yeah.
So you're on the beginning of your journey, and I'm ending my journey.
Yeah. So your journey is full of so many experiences, joy and ups and downs and all that. What would you say was your most resilient moment?
That's a good question. One moment I can say is when I told myself that I was going to make it regardless. I was going through my moment a couple of moments in my 30s where I was always depressed because I was wanting to be what somebody wanted me to be instead of being in my true, authentic self.
Yeah.
And one day I just got tired of being depressed and down and out. And I said, well, I'm going to make it regardless.
Yeah.
Whatever comes my way. And I think I've been doing that ever since. Now, I'm not going to say I didn't have my down moments because I have a lot of those. But just telling myself that I'm no longer a victim.
Yeah.
Because I'm re-narrating those things that happened to me.
Exactly.
And when I re-narrate them, like you can have done me terribly wrong. Well, okay, that was a good lesson. I learned that. Now I know what not to do and what to do. So thank you, universe, for the opportunity.
Yes.
That was really bad. That was bad, but thank you. I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to go through that. Because now I know what to do. So I have to re-narrate things over and over. And so just to know that I can go forward and do good things. Yeah, so got tired of being tired
Mm-hmm.
and tired of being depressed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And said, I'm gonna weather the storm
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be good regardless.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
And there's storms that come every day.
Yes.
But I'm still good.
Yes.
I'm still standing because I told myself a long time ago, I'm not going to continue to go through this.
Yeah.
And if I do go through it, I'll get up again.
Exactly.
And I'll continue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what resilience is basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always being strong and stable, but your ability to stand up if you fall and to come back from your setbacks and keep going and motivating yourself. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm much better than what I was.
Absolutely.
And I have so much to go.
Yeah.
But I'm at a much better place mentally.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, so many things come at me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, all right, let's solve this problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then I keep on going.
That's beautiful.
And then it gets better.
Yeah.
And then a bigger problem comes. But nevertheless, you have to keep on going.
Exactly.
Because I've told myself I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to be just fine.
You are.
I'm going to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to decide how I want to live.
Exactly.
So life is good.
Yeah.
I always say that life is good.
It is.
Yeah, I started saying it a long time ago because I'm so depressed. Life is absolutely good.
It is.
And I'm enjoying every bit of it.
Wow.
Not all the time, but it's still good.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it's amazing how wiser we get, right? Mm-hmm. Every time we go through difficult situation, difficult, challenging situation in life. Yeah, I'm glad that now you're in this place.
Yeah, and I know that I'm doing good because the problems, they get bigger.
Yes.
And so somebody used to say, this is a saying, new level, new devil.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing good.
Yes.
Because my problems, they're getting bigger, but I'm going up and up
exactly.
the level.
Yeah.
So that means I'm on the right track.
Absolutely. Yeah, I always hear a phrase, I don't remember exactly what it says, but it says it says that you don't get trouble that you are not able to handle. So everything comes to you. You are 100% able and capable of handling it and growing through it. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so great. Thank you.
It is, of course. Thank you. So any final word before we let you go?
Just keep going. You can make it, I would say. Life is sweet. Life is good.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself and invest more into your mental health.
Absolutely.
Because if you're okay mentally, everything else will fall into place.
That's true.
And we have to get into a place where we're sowing into ourselves. And so that means just find ways to make you better.
Exactly.
And everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good advice. Yeah. And I'm a big advocate of mental health. So
most definitely.
I agree with that, and I like that, and I 100% agree that mental health is number one, and people need to take care of that in their everyday life. Just try to do the small things that make them happy and calm and navigate their inner peace, and then everything else, as you said, will follow.
Fall into place.
Yeah. So, final question.
Another one?
I want to know how you feel now. This is the check-out question. I do check in and check out.
Okay, so we're checking out now.
Yes.
How do I feel?
Yeah.
Well, it stopped raining. It was raining here.
Yes.
And then I can see the sun is shining.
Yeah.
The sun is shining.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because when I came in, it was like, I'm scared, I'm nervous, but now I feel really great.
That's good.
See how this was mental health for me.
Yeah.
Talking, having this conversation, and remembering.
Yeah.
So I feel great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes,
I feel great too, and it has been amazing. I don't know how long it is. I think it's more than 1 hour now.
Yeah, I think so too.
It has been a great time with you, and this is how I always feel when I talk to you.
Oh, thank you.
You need to be a therapist.
Oh, really?
People will enjoy talking to you.
Then I'll be crazier than I am now, but no, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I know we're going to meet again. You're going to come back again to the
Exactly.
podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for having me. I
Of
appreciate
course.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.